Hi everybody, we're going to do another quick one tonight. It's going to take a while to cook, but it's going to be quick to cover the ingredients and put it all together for you. So tonight we're going to do pepper steak, and I'm hoping that we can put this in the magic bullet and Mike can eat some of it. By the time you guys see this, he probably will be either through chemo and radiation or almost done with chemo and radiation, but we're still working on solid foods for him before we have to use a feeding tube. So with that being said, let's get the ingredients going and we'll get this recipe started for you. So the first thing I've got is some round steak that I've cut up in strips, about a pound. Then I've got 2 cups of beef stock. I've got a tablespoon of garlic, granulated garlic from the refrigerator. We've got a tablespoon of paprika, a teaspoon of garlic salt, a half a teaspoon of onion powder. I've got 1 teaspoon of my hydrated Italian seasoning. We have a half a cup of flour. We have a half a cup of sour cream. And we have about a cup of onions sliced, and about a cup and a half, or about a cup and a quarter of green peppers. Now you see these are kind of wet looking. These are actually green peppers that we grew in our garden last year, and I pulled them out and sliced them up, and they're sliced just like the onions. And with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get this recipe going. It's like I said, it's quick and easy to prepare. The prep work was really quick. It's just getting the meat cooked. The meat's got to be cooked. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I have 4 cups of chunked potatoes that we're going to boil to make mashed potatoes to put the pepper steak over. Glad I looked over to my left. So again, with that being said, let's go ahead and get this all going and we'll get the recipe started for you. So before we get going, I've got a bag here and I'm going to get my meat dredging, dry ingredients going. So into the bag we're going to add the half cup of flour. Sorry, this isn't very professional today, guys. The onion powder, the half teaspoon onion powder, the tablespoon of paprika, and the teaspoon of garlic salt. And I'm going to shake this up a little bit off the video. I want to shake it up and mix it all together. And that's pretty good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of my meat in here, get it coated really good, and then we'll get our pan going. So I'll be back in a minute after we get this all coated and ready to go. Okay, I got my pan hot. It's getting hot. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I tend to like to use olive oil to fry with when I do this kind of stuff. It gives a unique flavor and I just love that. There's about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I've got my meat dredged. And I'm going to start adding it to the pan. I don't want to crowd the pan, but I'm going to add this in here so I can get it frying. I'll probably be adding some music for you because this is going to take a little bit. But all the dry ingredients, we'll get this going. It already smells good and we haven't even started the big part of the dish yet. And while you're frying this, You're going to get a lot of flour residual in here, and you'll probably have to add more oil to the pan, which is not a big deal. Once you get everything going, the flour in the meat sort of kind of absorbs the oil, so it works out really good that way. So let's throw in some music here and watch the meat fry. Okay, so if you were watching, you noticed I added oil to the pan 3 times. So I still have enough oil in here. I'm going to add my onions really quickly. And we're going to kind of break them up. Get them lightly clarified. Because we got some unctuous stuff in the bottom of this pan that I don't want to lose. It's not burnt quite yet. So there you go, we got the onions in there. So now I'm going to start adding my beef stock because I want to kind of deglaze the pan and get all that really good stuff off the bottom of the pan. So we're going to add some stock here. Not a fan of the spatula I grabbed. And I'm going to add some more. Add the rest of it. We're going to keep it at temp, and we're going to pull all that good stuff off the bottom of the pan, basically. It'll heat up and pull all the flavor saver parts on the bottom of the pan, which is what I love the most, and I do not like this spatula. So we're going to change over to another one that's a little more firm. Yeah, my favorite one. Now, also, I've saved my dredging flour. I haven't gotten rid of the dredging flour because if I don't like the way the gravy is turning out, I'm going to add some of that dredging liquid. I'll put some water in it and make a slurry, and I'll thicken the gravy here. So we're almost done deglazing the pan and getting all the good bits off the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and add, right now, I'm going to add my rehydrated Italian seasoning. Get that out of there. And I'm going to wait on the green peppers because they were already soft from being frozen. And I don't want them cooked to nothing. So I will add those towards the end. So we've got everything going here. Got everything in. The pan's deglazed. So I'm going to add my meat back into the pan. I may have to add some more liquid. I don't know yet. We'll find out. But what I'm going to do is get this out here in the pan. Get it spread out a little bit. And then I'm going to put a lid on this. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I don't want it cooking too hard, but I want the meat to be cooked tender. So I'm going to get this all coated in here, and then I'm going to put a lid on this and cook it at about medium low for about an hour. But at the half-hour point, I'm going to show you what we do with the rest of our ingredients for this dish. So we're at that point, and I'll see you in a little bit. We're about halfway through the meat cook process. So we're going to get our potatoes going. And I have my potatoes in the pan. And I'm going to turn the heat on to a high heat so that I can get them to boil. And I'm going to boil them pretty good because I want them to be soft enough so that even if there are some chunks, I can eat them. So it's just the water and the potatoes, but I'm going to add the garlic, my tablespoon of garlic, and I'm going to boil that in with the potatoes so I can get that flavor in the potatoes. And when I get ready to mash them, the garlic will mash up really good with the potatoes. So there's where we're at right now. I'm not going to add the green peppers to the meat until the very end because, again, like I said earlier, they were frozen, they're soft. The flavor will get into the meat and the gravy, but I just don't want it to cook to nothing. So there you go. We're going to put a lid on the potatoes, and the potatoes are going to boil. I'll probably boil them for about 30 minutes just to make sure that they're really good and soft, so when I get ready to whip them or mash them, they'll be soft enough so that Mike, because of his lack of teeth due to all of the stuff he's been going through, he'll be able to break that down and he'll be able to eat it also. And just so you're wondering, no, he can't eat the meat the way it is in its original form while it's cooking. So hang around till the end and I'll show you what I actually do so that Mike can eat what I eat for dinner. So we'll be back in a little bit. Thank you. Okay, we are at about the halfway point, and I have my potatoes going. They haven't boiled yet, but I tasted my gravy and it needed a little extra booster shot. So I got myself a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and I have myself a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to mix this in and turn my heat up a little bit more because I really do want this meat to be cooked by the time we're ready to serve up. So meat is still not quite there yet, but we'll get there. And while I'm here, it's not going to be boiling a whole lot, so I'm going to go ahead and add my green peppers because I want that flavor to be in there also. So I'm going to add my green peppers, my bell peppers. I'm going to stir these in, and I've got it set on a medium low, and I'm hoping beyond hope that when we come back to get everything ready to plate up, that these won't be cooked to mush, and you'll see the peppers in the dish when we get it ready to go. So with that said, I'm going to put my lid back on and I'm going to wait for the potatoes to boil. We'll cover the potatoes with you and the last ingredient, which is sour cream, and where that's going to go. So see you in a few minutes. Our gravy is ready and getting ready to do the mashed potatoes, so we're going to move you over to the mashed potatoes here in just a moment. One of the reasons why I put the garlic in the water with the mashed potatoes because I want it to break down with the mashed potatoes so Mike can eat it. So with that being said, we will shut this down and get over to the taters. Hang on, we're almost done. So I don't know how good this video is going to be, but I'm going to get as close to it as I possibly can. We're getting ready to mash the potatoes. The gravy is ready. I'm going to add to this, I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of butter, which I didn't share in the beginning, but that's okay. I'll give you a list of the ingredients as we're going along. So I've got my couple of tablespoons of butter in here, and I'm going to turn this on. So it's about 2 to start out with, but I want to whip these, so once I get comfortable with what I've got in here, I'm going to turn it up on high, and I will probably throw some music in here for you because this is going to get really irritating after a minute or two. In addition to the butter, I'm going to throw some cream in here, just because I can. And we're going to get our sour cream in here also. And now it's time to turn the party up and get the taters whipped. So the potatoes are whipped and we are ready to plate up, take a picture, and show you how we do things around here. So I got the gravy shut off. I'm going to use a magic bullet, and you really shouldn't do hot liquids in magic bullet. So we're going to cool it off a little bit for Mike, and then throw it in the blender and get it all whizzed up, and you can see what how Mike eats his. I appreciate you all for coming along, and give us a minute and we'll show you what we do. Okay, so this is our meal prep for Mike. Let me get a spoon out here. So I got one of the pieces of meat, some of the peppers, and some of the onion and gravy right here that we're going to use. And I've got my little magic bullet container here. And I'm going to add in the meat and the peppers. And then I'm going to add some of the gravy from the meat that I just cooked. Sorry if this gets a little blurry. And then to add a little bit more to it, I'm going to add some of the beef stock. We don't want this too thick for him, so we're going to add some beef stock so that it will blend up smoothly. I'm making a big mess here tonight, folks, but that's okay. So then I get my little handy dandy blades here for my magic bullet, and I put the lid on it, of course, tighten it down, and then we're going to make some noise. And if it's still too thick, I will add some more beef stock. And then what happens is, what I will do, because he's not ready to eat right now, is I usually will blend up quite a bit, and I'll put it in half-cup containers and freeze it. And then when it comes time for him to eat, then I will pull it out and heat it up in a saucepan. I'll add the potatoes, and he'll be ready to eat. So I appreciate you all coming tonight and watching my video. I wish you the very best and have a blessed night. And I will show you a picture of both of our meals once I get them plated up. Thank you again and good night.